Alright, it's about it's about 10:15 on July 10th, 2022, getting ready to leave my dad's house. We are loaded. I got rid of a lot of stuff, mailed it back to myself this time, and except for the batteries, I had some spare batteries that I wasn't able to mail. I couldn't remember the specs, so when I got there, I actually could have done better, but I got it wrong. So what it was, I put all of the lithium batteries in one box. You can kind of see the little white box sticking out. You're only allowed one lithium battery of that size per box. If I had put one battery in every box, I could have got them all mailed. I tried to put them all together thinking that made more sense, but that's not the way it worked out, so I get to take those anyway. So I've got, I guess I haven't done any videos since I've been here, so these are the two batteries that I'm using. I moved them to the bike. I bought a cargo rack that attaches to the seat post, so the batteries are off the trailer. My hope is that I can reduce the weight on the trailer and make the hitch last a little longer. We'll see how that turns out. Later on, definitely for next year, I want to do a full pannier system that can come down, because I've got 3 backpacks in the trailer. I could put one backpack on each side of the bike and basically eliminate most of the weight on the trailer. That would be a big advantage. That took me a while to figure that out, so it does seem like now that I kind of go back and look at it, the weight on the bike, it's a little bit awkward, but it takes the load off of the trailer hitch. So that's the new way I'm going to look at it for next year. So there we are. Anyway, I got the 2 new tires on the trailer. I put this one on while I was here. I don't have any wheels on the side anymore. I've got one spare wheel that matches the front wheel, so if that motor quits I can swap wheels again. And I've got 2 spare 26-inch tires that don't do me any good, but they don't weigh very much, so I'm going to take them back. The wheel that had the 250 watt motor, I mailed the motor home and the spokes, but I kept the rim. Not that I can use it, but I can at least save it for when I get home. It would have cost too much to mail something that big, so that's that. Otherwise, I think we are ready. So we'll do a last look around and then we'll head out of here. This is my dad's garage. They are down in a meeting right now, so if they don't get home before I leave, I'll swing down where they are. So, yeah. This is kind of fun of note. This is a picture of where my grandparents lived on the farm. And at one time we lived in a little house in this corner. And then we picked up the house on a truck and hauled it about 6 miles down the road to where we ended up living. But pretty cool. And puzzles, my parents have been doing a lot of puzzles, and then when they get them done, they put them on a mat. So my dad puts them out here. Oh, these are kind of cool too. And since my dad was a farmer, we got lots of farmer stuff. Memories. All right. And then this is just a beautiful house. This was the room I stayed in with a real bed. I actually considered putting the cot out on the back deck, but anyway, very cool. All on one level, which is good when your parents get older. Super high ceilings, lots of color, beautiful house. Yeah. And a deck out back with lots of chairs and trees and shade and an awning, and very nice house. Kind of weird being here and then going back out in the wild again. I guess I was here 2 weeks. I was thinking it was a week, but yeah, I was here for 2 weeks. Okay, hit the road. Did you know that these videos are entirely supported by people's donations? It's crazy but true. You could be one of those people. If you'd like to help out, keep my wheels rolling on this mission here, where I'm riding about the countryside trying to remind people that we have about 22 military veterans committing suicide every day, which is a horrible thing to think about. I think that's maybe why people forget. It's just too hard to comprehend. But in the meantime, we've sent our people off into some pretty horrible places, and they come back, and sometimes they just don't fit in with the regular people anymore, so they're having a hard time. So my mission is to remind people that this is still happening, and if we can get some traction on that, maybe we could do something to actually help. But in the meantime, it's just kind of going out there and reminding people and talking to people wherever I can. So the trailer has been really wonderful for that. You know, people see that, they're like, oh, what is this all about, right? Anyway, my job is to do the writing. If anybody wants to help support the mission, there's PayPal, there's Patreon. On YouTube members, you can do a YouTube membership. You can choose your level of support, or it's each video you can do the little super thanks. So down below the video where the like is, there's also a heart that lets you give me a one-time donation. So if you'd like to do that, that would help me out enormously. All right, this is Rock Island Dam on the Columbia River. The Columbia River in this area has multiple hydroelectric dams every about 10 or 20 miles or something. Could be more than that, but there's quite a few dams in a fairly short amount of space. Currently they're dumping water still. We just had some rain and we still got winter snow melting. The electric rate here is quite low. Places like Alto have a plant out here. They use electric for aluminum smelting. And we're going up. Okay, just kind of a data point. One, I've got a squeak on the front brake, so try to ignore that. Mostly this is for my dad and other Wenatchee people. We're going up the grade. Just past Rock Island. I'm climbing at 500 watts and 6 miles an hour. So that's not too bad. They aren't dodging me. There's somebody up ahead that checked up and everybody's swerving. Yay. Anyway, I stopped to get a shot of the Columbia. This is the last time I'm going to see the Columbia on this trip. It's going that way and we're going this way and up, so yeah. Up ahead is the town of Crescent Bar. I don't know if it's touristy or what they're doing now. We gotta get up on top of that hill though, so it's gonna be a bit of a climb, but I don't think it's anything worse than I've done already, so. A little taste of what it looks like out here. This is all irrigated farmland. That canal looks mighty tempting right now. This will be about my luck. I'm going to ride next to that canal for the next couple hours, and about the time I want to stop and clean up for the night, there won't be a canal. Yeah, that's about how it goes. But anyway, a little bit breezy. I thought I had a headwind, but it's supposed to be a tailwind. It feels more like a tailwind now, so. Might be a crosswind. I thought I had a headwind, but anyway, making good time. It's about 3:15. Sun doesn't go down until like 9 o'clock or something like that, so I don't get much sun after 4 or 4:30, but I got 50 volts still, so 53 would be full. That's pretty good. So if I can stop and then angle the panels, I'm gonna keep pushing. Plus, there's too many houses here. Gotta find somewhere less housey. So my camp behind my host's house faces the golf course. Of course it does. I don't know how this happens to me. This is pretty nice. All right, end of day report. You can't make this kind of stuff up. You know, let's just camp next to in somebody's backyard, next to a golf course, watching the sprinklers going. Yeah, I'm last town up, Ephrata. I'm in Soap Lake now, or close to Soap Lake. Last town up, I look ahead on Google Maps. Oh, there's a Burger King, and since I keep stopping at Burger Kings, Google is learning that, and so they're flagging all the Burger Kings for me. You know, there was also a McDonald's, but it didn't even mention it. It's like, oh, there's a Burger King, you better stop. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm gonna just stop and get a chocolate shake. I wasn't even really hungry yet, but I felt like I needed something. And I'm just getting off the bike, and this guy comes rolling up next to me, asking questions about the trailer. So we get to talk, and he's like, hey, can I buy you lunch? I'm like, okay, you know. And I'm like, well, you know, really, I was just gonna stop and get a shake. He's like, okay, I'll run in and get one for you. I'm like, oh, okay, you know. So I waited outside for a minute. I didn't feel like walking in, and so I was like, I'll just kind of went over the bike and checked the tires and everything, make sure it was all good. And a couple of seconds later, he comes running back out. He's got my shake, and I'm like, that's just kind of surreal. But honestly, it's getting to the point. I mean, I don't expect it, but it's not unusual anymore, which is just the weirdest thing. Anyway, so we get to talking some more, and he's giving me some ideas for campsites and places I could camp nearby and everything like that, because he knows the area, right? And okay, thanks. I jump on the bike, and he waves, and I go riding along. And I realize that I'm almost keeping up to him. And I mean, it's not like it's busy traffic, but it's a little town with, you know, stoplights. And I'm making good time because it's a little bit downhill, and I had a tailwind all afternoon. It was the best day for a ride ever. And it was like one of those days where you don't want to stop because the wind is helping you, you know. And then I look up, and he's parked off to the side of the road, and he's waving again. So I'm like, okay, pull over. He's like, hey, do you want to just camp in the backyard? I'm like, sure, you know, because otherwise I'm looking for a random place to camp off the highway or something like that. So this is nice. And so we get here, meet his wife, I guess, or, you know, he's in his 70s. He's also a Navy veteran. We get talking about bikes. He's got like 3 or 4 electric bikes in the shop here, you know. He's like, oh, let's go ride bikes. And so I get to ride all his different bikes, you know. Like, cool, you know. And you get to learn, like, you know, it's like, I've always felt like I didn't like my handlebars. Well, I got to try 3 different handlebars that I liked all of them better. Okay, that's a good data point, because now I can go looking for handlebars and I know what fits better, you know. Oh, and he had a titanium bike, which is like unobtainium, literally. I mean, it's very rare to even know of somebody who knows that titanium bikes exist, much less to see one in the real. If you ever get a chance to check one out, you just pick it up with your fingertips. It feels like it's going to just float. It's unbelievably light, you know. I didn't ride that, but this is the kind of thing that should be in a museum or up on the wall. You kind of feel bad about riding it, you know. But, like, yeah, pretty cool, you know. Anyway, so, yeah, sitting here under the clear sky and enjoying watching the sprinklers come on in the golf course, which apparently I'm in a safe spot, so we'll see how that turns out. There's nothing like watching golf course sprinklers, though. I mean, I don't know if this is going to show up in the dark. Those things are like fire hoses. I mean, he actually rattled off how many gallons per minute they can spray, and I'm like, just, yeah. This is not your normal lawn sprinklers. These things are irrigation grade or something like that. They'll probably come on for a few minutes and shut off again, but kind of feels nice in the desert having the moisture coming off the sprinklers. Yeah. Anyway, so I got to have food and took a shower here, you know, and yeah, crazy. Just, you know, a random thing that you're just minding your own business, you know. It's kind of, it's the kind of thing you end up having happen when you're actually traveling, I think. And we were talking about that. It's like you just meet other travelers and then other people on bikes, you know. Yeah, it's just not like being stuck in your apartment, I guess. So anyway, I'm gonna just wrap it up there, and maybe I'll get this video edited and up tonight. So as always, thanks for watching, and yeah, later.